Hi, this is the second broadcast of Caught in the Third Act. Um, Forgive me, I'm a little bit nervous today. I have no idea why, but I am nonetheless. But hey, that's life, right? And so, today, since I still don't have much in the way of feedback from you, come on, get on the ball. Um, I'm going to continue to work on the story that I started last, or rather, typed in last time and was working on a bit last time. As soon as, Word will open up the actual document here for me. I think that's partially because I have a lot going on the computer right now as well. Uh, Trying to keep an eye on the chat a little bit better than I did last time as well. And that means I have to have a web browser open, and this web browser is eating pretty much all the traffic. So this is being a little bit slow for me here. Alright, let's kill the web browser. There we go. Hmm. And it's looking like my channel may not be actually picking up the chat here, so let's see what we can do about that real quick. Alright, that should help. Of course, there's still no chat at this point. No one's talking, but that's no one talking but me, of course, but that's beside the point. And let's try that again. Try with a different web browser. For the record, I am not a fan of Microsoft Edge, but it's, a little bit lighter than everything else that I have at the moment. Because I have like a million tabs open in Chrome. And that's not good. At least not for certain things. I know, I probably should have done all of this prior to actually getting started with the broadcast. But, well, I'm a little short-sighted on certain things, and, well, not everything quite works out as I intend, especially on days that I actually have something important to do. And that is definitely the case today. Doo-doo-doo. Who isn't talking? Well, you weren't up until a moment ago. Only I was talking. And I was getting kind of lonely. Alright, now at least I can see the chat. Once again, hi Laura. Alright, let's see, where were we in the story here? Yo. Alright, our hero really had nothing more in her apartment slash office than a basic bed, a single chair and desk, undersized refrigerator, remnants of cake on a counter, and that was really about it. Each corner. And believe it or not, I actually forgot her name. Tomoko. How can I forget that? It's a name I learned when I actually visited Japan way back in '89. Not that that's important, but I'm quite ancient. Don't you piffed me. Yeah, it's a sentence fragment. I don't care. But I am going to change that. I'm fairly wasteful when it comes to words. I use them up, then I delete them and move in a different direction quite frequently. I don't know if I talked about it, but I actually prefer to write on paper for anything serious that I'm doing. Mainly because it forces me to focus a little bit more, think about what I'm doing before I actually commit it to paper or commit it to the document. And that's sometimes a good thing. It forces you to really consider everything. Otherwise, you're just randomly putting down things because you know you can delete it. It doesn't necessarily have as much importance, and so it can just go away in an instant. And like I said, when it's something important, something I'm really interested in writing, I usually try to actually write it on paper as opposed to electronically. But it's a little hard to actually, well, harder to capture video of someone writing on paper than it is in a word processor. So there we are. Did I discuss what time of day it was? I don't think I did. By the way, you can hear me okay, right? Trying my headset instead of using the webcam microphone. At least I hope you can hear me okay. Okay, perfect. I think it's more the permanence of the act of writing on paper as opposed to tactile. I mean, writing on paper feels good, but I think it's the permanence. The idea that if it's written down on paper, it's there permanently, even if you scratch it out. So fundamentally, someone could look at it and figure out what you did right. And that's fine and all. No one's ever going to look at my scribbled notebooks, but it's just the permanence of it. Do, 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 do. Don't believe I did say what time of day this was. I don't see anything there. In this dark afternoon light, if I can learn how to spell. Yeah, that's true, though I hate to rely on it. Because, as my phone continually reminds me, sometimes it's just plain wrong. We don't need wrong. We need right. And right all the time, right? Wrong is good too, huh? Well, I guess you learn from wrong as much as you do from right. Yeah, her sister plays rugby. What of it? should... You're still not awake, huh? Well, wake up. Wake up, up. Uh, I should probably give her a firearm, but in fact, I think she will normally carry a gun of some sort, but I don't think that that's the sort of thing that she wants laying about as a reminder that she is a licensed private investigator. Sleep is nice, but wake up. You need to stay awake. So, get to it. And I think it would be very interesting if she actually did grab the katana down and go out on a case. That might indicate that some serious shit is going down. What did you think of the opening music and video? Not that there was much to the video, but what did you think? I am a bossy boots. Leave me alone. Ah, well, you'll probably see it at the end anyway. I just composed that. Well, put the video together. The music is actually from a website that I found that offers royalty-free music for free, provided you give credit. So I'm giving credit to bensound.com. So. Okay, the katana had been a gift of a former client. I'm trying to decide right this very moment whether that work was a little bit on the shady side or a little bit on the clean side. On one hand, a reward as great as that would be typical for, say, saving someone's life, or perhaps finding a long-lost relative that was in serious danger. Someone who's running from the mob, for instance. On the other hand, it's a weapon. And that's something, sort of thing you might get from someone working on the wrong side of the law. For instance, it might have been a gift from the Yakuza for tracking down witnesses to a particular crime. Not that she necessarily knew that that's what was going on, but nonetheless, it could have been something along those lines. But for the moment, the world shall never know. I'm not deciding right now. That may be a subplot to the story. Maybe someone was unhappy with the work that she did on the case, and as a result is coming after her. We shall see. Right now, I have no idea what the plot of this story is, so I'm not going to address it really right now. Right now, it's more or less literature. Character piece more so than anything else. More focused on the character than a story. But a story will develop, I'm sure. Another question. Did I ever indicate what city she was in? Don't believe that I did. It's going to be here in the United States. Okay. Alright. Laura, since you're the only one here, or at least speaking, East Coast, Midwest, West Coast. Trying to get a feel for it. Part of me wants to say West Coast, probably somewhere like San Francisco, but that's so damn cliche. Midwest and East Coast would be a little bit more interesting, I think. Of course. Then there's the North or South question. Yeah, I know you're all about Chicago. I'm in Chicago, of course, and so that would make things both simpler and way too easy. That's true. There are a jillion other big cities. So what is it? Midwest? We could do St. Louis. But maybe not St. Louis. God, what's her name? My vampire hunter slash queen book series that I love so much, Guilty Pleasures and so forth, that's set in St. Louis. Yeah, coastal-based detectives are cliche, I guess. Alright, here's one. Oklahoma City. No one ever thinks about Oklahoma City as a setting for any kind of story. Sound good? Ah, Laurel K. Hamilton's books. Thank you. One of these days I'll get those books back from you, if I haven't already. Now, having been to Oklahoma City and been all through Oklahoma, I know that it's nice, temperate, and dry. Well, you should read them at some point. They're good books, even if I can't remember the characters' names at the moment. Could be worse. Green Acres is the place to be. Farm living is the life for me. Sorry. I promised never to sing that again on this stream. Ever. Hey, I loved Green Acres. I'm just saying I will never sing that again on stream. Now, considering this is at least 100-something years in the future, do I whip out a map and try to use actual locations from Oklahoma City or make up shit as I go along? Yeah, I know you're not judging, but I'm being super judgy about my own stuff, so my own singing. So back off. I got you. I know you. Well, let's take a look at the at Google Maps for a nice overview of the city. Naturally, some landmarks will change, businesses will change. But fundamentally, the layout of the city will probably be exactly the same. I'm sorry, didn't mean to point at you. I know you should never point at anyone. Period. I'm sorry. Can you forgive me? Ooh, Oklahoma City has a lake in it. Lake Hefner. Why should that not be called Lake Hugh? Forest Park, just like up here. Oklahoma City Zoo. Stinchcombe Wildlife Refuge. Lots of interesting places to explore. Maybe I don't know if they have gorillas. They probably do. It's a zoo. Well, I know not every zoo has gorillas, but still. Well, that's something we can look up off cam. Off stream. Ooh, Lake Overholser? Alright. So Oklahoma City has 2 lakes. Alright, I'll confess, it's been kind of a while since I've really spent any time there. Hey, Will Rogers Airport. My brother's airport. Yeah. And I appreciate it. We'll find out if they have gorillas or not. Gorillas are interesting. It might make an interesting thing to explore during the course of this particular story. Maybe she goes to hang out at the zoo with a guy she starts dating or something. Or maybe someone's killed at the zoo and she's asked to investigate. Or someone steals a gorilla. We don't know yet. Let's see. Midtown. Where's Midtown? There's Midtown. Park Avenue. Okay, that's sounding good. Yes. Sorry to whomever I'm going to bum out, but I think our Tomoko here lives in this nice skyscraper on the northeast corner of Park and Robinson Avenue. Although, is that a hospital across the street or is that another apartment building? Ah, Bank of America Financial Center. And what I thought was an apartment building may actually not be an apartment building. But in 100 and something years' time, it is an apartment building. So there. Moral of the story, it's 100 years in the future, and it's not the present. So what is now isn't what it's going to be then. Exactly. There's nothing saying that it can't be apartments in the future. And yes, it's a skyscraper. What's wrong with skyscrapers? Yeah, and you absolutely positively love staring at the Sears Tower, so what's the big deal? Yeah, but as many skyscrapers as I've been in, all the way up to the top of most of them, you never actually feel the building swaying. So it's okay. Trust me. I'll take you to the Sears Tower. We'll go out in their nice little observation deck, glass observation deck, and look down. Deal? Yeah, you probably are smart. Well, hang on a second here. We're going to go to my brief, okay, it's 47 seconds long, commercial, and I'll be right back. If you're interested in supporting this broadcast, you may do so in several ways. You may make a donation via PayPal at the address shown. You may send Bitcoin to this address. Finally, I am an independent agent for Stream Energy, which offers energy services in 8 states and the District of Columbia, wireless service in 49 states, and a whole host of protective services. Stream offers services that you already use and need. The difference is you'd be buying these as a customer of mine rather than from a faceless corporation. In fact, you too can become an independent agent and become your own boss. For more information and to sign up as a Stream customer or independent agent, visit the address on your screen. Thank you. And I'm back. Still testing that out. How do you feel about the commercial? Should I dump it? Should I keep it? Should I redo it? They just go away, huh? In one ear and out the other? You don't care at all about the commercials, generally, unless it's really funny or weird? I can't blame you if that's the case. Yeah, that commercial is weird. I can't quite say bizarre, but it's definitely weird. Not something I would usually go out of my way to watch, or want to watch. In fact, it almost makes me not want to use Twitter. But at least it's entertaining, right? What? What's that face all about? You've been brainwashed by the commercial. You have Stockholm syndrome. They held you hostage for too long. You can be saved though. A skyscraper. That's not good. Well, hey, maybe my commercial should be like a fungus. Maybe it should grow on you. Maybe people will donate or help out in some way. Yeah, that's it. The Oklahoma Sun beat down on the outside. Beat down outside. On a nearly cloudless day, and invited the young woman into the daylight for a bit of lunch. You know, I've always wanted a bullhorn. Maybe this is the time. Maybe this is the chance. Maybe I'll finally get a ton of customers and viewers or whatever on by investing in a bullhorn for Caught in the Third Act. Maybe this is my time. Maybe that's my door. Yes. I think that may be it. Where do you get a customized bullhorn, though? If any of you know, leave a comment. Yeah, neither do I. I imagine if I go Google it real quick, I could probably come up with 2 or 3 dozen places to actually have a custom bullhorn made, but I'm not feeling that right this second. Later maybe, but not right this second. Also, I don't know if you noticed, but I changed the way I'm actually streaming. I have things a bit more cropped towards and scaled so that you should see the actual word word processor window there, wherever, a bit bigger. Is it easier to read? Well, cheerleading megaphones are not the same, although I do kind of want a director one. You know, for kids. Cool. Glad to hear it is much easier to read. You know, something I read, or possibly my last creative writing class years ago, said that within the first page of a story, you should definitely have dialogue, or at least a character's inner monologue. And I think that's interesting, but I think it's unnecessary. I think that you should be more interested in setting up the story and get the story moving along more so than worrying about dialogue, or whether it has dialogue in that first page. The idea is that within those first paragraphs, you have to actually capture the reader's attention, which makes perfect sense. In my opinion, that very first sentence of that very first paragraph is the most important part of the entire story. If you don't get them with that, they're done. But other people seem to believe that it's conversation or action or something important, quote unquote, it needs to be in that first paragraph, and certainly within the first page. I'm not saying that you can't have those things, but I think you should focus more on getting the story moving, and whatever it takes, whatever inspired you to write the story, should be right there in that first couple of pages. First page especially, more so than worrying about a particular format or whether it has dialogue or whatever on that first page. And you do 2 to 3 pages, I think that's cool. I think that's perfect. And other than Sentinel so far in this story, there has been no real conversation, which is perfectly fine in my opinion. Exactly. Learn all the rules so you can break them. In fact, I think that's one of the things that actually inspired me to become a writer. I think it was my ninth or 10th grade English teacher that basically said to the effect of, something to the effect of, you need to know all the rules so that you can actually do work, such as writing reports or getting through college. But if you become a professional author, you make the rules. You break them, you do whatever you want. I think Herman Melville, I think that's what she told me about that way back then, wrote in pretty much nothing but lowercase letters. And someone else pretty much wrote without chapter breaks in their stories. And I like that. In fact, one of my longest works to date is pretty much nothing but unending, undeviated paragraph after paragraph after paragraph, even though it's only broken up by a couple of spaces here and there to indicate that it's a new line of action or a new scene. And I think that's kind of cool. And incidentally, that is available online somewhere. I believe it's on my brokenfingers.wordpress.com site. The name of the story is A Treatise on Fate. It's also incomplete, but I think that was probably one of my most original works and some of my best work ever. I don't think I've ever gotten quite back to that level of creativity or writing ability. I had writer's block for a number of years afterwards uh, because I just couldn't come up with a way to complete the last scene in it in a way that made sense and felt good to me. Nor could I figure out where the story was going to go after that point. So it just stopped. I ended up with writer's block. Nothing felt good enough afterwards. And it took me about 6 or 7 years before I really started writing again after that. A personal tragedy. Yeah, humanity is kind of overrated. They suck. The world reminds me of that every single day. Although, I'm still kind of hopeful about humanity. Maybe we will actually see the 22nd century. Who knows? Quick, give me a cafe name. Something interesting. Preferably involving food, possibly French. Yeah, I know, it's putting you on the spot. Okay. Temporary placeholder. about that? Le petite pain, huh? Hmm. 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 That's not bad. A little less punny than what I was doing. Very well. Yeah, I'll have to look this up later. Foie gras. I definitely cannot remember how to spell it at the moment. Hmm. Could be. Could be. I think it is the S there, though. I'll look it up. I have eaten liver. I detest it. Although I have not had foie gras. I'm not really thinking about it. It seems like everybody loves it, but yeah, I don't think I'll be eating it. Same with pate, which is also liver. But I've usually had uh, liver and onions, basically just cooked in a skillet. It smells great. It smells like the best thing ever. But in my opinion, it is the worst thing ever. It's horrible. I hate it. Hate it, hate it, hate it. But I would love to smell it right now, just because it smells so good. I think with that, it's a texture thing, more so than anything else. Although I don't remember any of the taste of liver, but it's got a weird texture when you're eating it, and I've never got into that texture. Oh, I'm sorry for holding back. I apologize. I'll try to be a little more, vocal about it. And IHateLiver.com. I'm going to register that right now. Alright, I'm going to have to figure out that whole last sentence there. But we're pretty much approaching the end of this broadcast. I hope you had fun. Hope you enjoyed it. I hope everything looks good for you, and hope this will draw a few more people back in. Yeah, I know. This actually went kind of fast. Faster than I thought it was going to go today. But, you know, I need more viewers. So, all of you out there, come and watch next time. Probably do it in another 2 weeks. That would be the 24th. So, come back. Visit the site. Comment on this video at any and all times. Hey, 1001 words. Come back at any time. Leave comments on the video. Go to caughtinthethirdact.com and join the site. Leave comments there. Tell me what you want to see. Tell me what we should be writing, because we need to start on this. Come on. We need to get this project together and get it moving. So just come on back and let me know what you're thinking. Let me know what we should write, what we're going to do together. And Laura doesn't count, even though I love her to death. She's my best friend here. So she doesn't count, though. So you come, you tell me, we'll do this. All right? That calls it a day, I guess. We'll wrap this up. I'll see you next time. Have a great week or two, and take care. Ta-ta.